G'day ladies and gents, and welcome to War Thunder with Mags. So, today my intention was to cover the 75th anniversary event that Gaijin has put on from the German side, but they've gone and changed the event, but yeah, that's not a major thing. So I thought I'd bring out the BF-110. Now the match did start off a little rough. This was entirely my fault. I tried to burst climb up underneath a Wellington. I got some shots in on it, but I got my left engine and part of my plane ripped apart by a Spitfire. It wasn't critical. The plane's left engine smoking, the plane's still flying fine. There's more Spitfires behind me, so put the plane into a dive, get the hell out of the area. I did put enough ammunition on target, however, that when the Wellington went down a few seconds later, I still managed to get an assist. So, as I said, not a great start, but entirely my fault. Now, it didn't take me too long to come across another Wellington. Bombing ships in the harbour. That's alright, I was in a dive anyway, lined him up. Nice, easy kill. Thank you very much, first kill for the match. So a couple of minutes later, come across a Hurricane. Head-ons are not the most elegant kill, but this is a BF-110 and we're fighting at low altitude versus a highly manoeuvrable aircraft, so what the hell, took it, took no damage, second kill of the match. Things are definitely looking up. Now a couple of minutes later, come across a Spitfire at low altitude. Now 109 has dropped in to also engage the target, but I'm all over this guy. Just passed very close over the trees there, nice clean shot. Spitfire out, 3 kills and a BF-110 on the Britain event, an event that heavily favours the British side. Hey, this isn't bad at all. To top it off, the British only have 1 aircraft left at this point, so this is a first place match for me. Now the last aircraft is a Spitfire, he's all the way over there where all of our fighters are. I'm not even going to bother trying to get over to him. So we've got AAA guns all over the ground here and I still have a load of ammunition on board. The damage I took at the start of the match has almost completely not affected the BF-110. So strafe down some AAA for bonus points, may as well. So at this point you're probably wondering why I'm covering this event in this particular way. Well, it's at this point that I would like to introduce you to Death Scythe the Hell. Death Scythe the Hell is flying the BF-109E3 that attempted to drop in on the Spitfire I was engaging before, the last kill that I had. Now ignore the squad green that Death Scythe the Hell is in. We are not in a squad, we have been auto-squatted by the matchmaker. Death Scythe the Hell seems to have decided that that Spitfire was supposed to be his. Now he's going about this in a very clever way at the moment, he wants to kill me. But he doesn't want to shoot me down because he might get in trouble. You know, something horrible might happen because it gets reported for team killing. So instead he's going to spend the rest of this match flying around in his 109, attempting to ram me. Now I'm not entirely sure what's more embarrassing here, that it took so long for him to ram a damaged twin-engine bomber in an undamaged single-engine fighter, or that I actually let it happen. Regardless, well done on the team kill. Now you've just got to hope that nobody saw it. Yeah, I will admit that that did annoy the hell out of me. That really did. And honestly, it soured me in the entire Britain event. At that point, I had no interest in flying the German or the British side in this event, which is a shame, because I was going to do a BF-110 match and a 109E3 match in the event. So instead, I jumped in my 109 F-2 and just went into standard matchmaking. Now I am getting followed around by a 190 at the moment. I do continually check back, and yes, I was a little worried that exactly the same thing was going to happen again. It's not. He's not trying to team kill me. He's perfectly fine. He's just following my 109 around in line astern, looking for targets exactly the same way as I am. So for today's primary battle, we are on Ruhr, and I've already detected my first target. We've got a Spitfire that's 3 kilometers ahead. Now I'm not getting ready to dive at this point. I'm just going to cruise over above him, get into a position above, and then dive down. This gives me a vastly better angle of attack. It makes it much more difficult for him to maneuver out of the way, and it also gives me a chance to have a look and see what else is down there. And as you can see, there's an F-4U that's popped up, and I have a sneaking suspicion I glimpsed a dot in the clouds for a third target. Now I was going to go for the Spitfire, but the F-4U presented itself as a better option first. Took the lead, but shot very poorly. And I did take a little clip there as I flew through the line of fire of the 190 that took out the Corsair. Not malicious, nobody's fault. It happens. No damage was done. Moving on my next target, and I have 2 Spitfires to look at. So 1.5 kilometers to target, I'm holding 688 kilometers an hour in a shallow dive, no WEP. It's more than fast enough to catch your Spitfire. Just do a short burst to line up the guns. It's actually been some time since I've flown the 109 F2, so I'm just not entirely sure on the lead. And as it turns out, I probably should have actually done another shot because I spray a little wild here. Now I do take the kill, but that took a hell of a lot more ammunition than it should have. Cut close to the second Spitfire, pull the plane back into a high angle of climb to boom out, lock up the target and track him, roll to invert and redive, bad lead again, second shot's through, take the plane back into the vertical, and now I'm starting to get back into the swing of things with this plane. It has been some time. I actually stopped flying the 109s for a little while after I did a series of videos not that long ago and realised that I'd almost been flying nothing but Germany for a month. And once again I pull off another long burst and nothing hits home, and it was at about this point that I finally realised what the hell I was doing wrong. I'm leading for a 20mm MG151, but the 109 F2 has a 15mm MG151. The 15mm has a completely different velocity and drop rate, so yeah, I'm glad it only took me 3/4 of my ammunition load to finally realise what I was doing wrong with the plane. So there you go, there's your Mags derp moment of the day. So I was having a good sniff around this boomerang, took a quick burst on it before, it cuts back across the guns. I'm not going to engage that in the turn fight, not when there's a P40 sitting right there that I can engage. Now these guns are getting closer to home. Good smoke, and unfortunately I'm out of cannon, so I'm just going to do this with the MG, screw it. Set him on fire, kill the P40. Boomerang is below, taking to the vertical. Tip the plane over to dive back in. Now the boomerang pilot is flying very low, so I've got to back right off on the throttles here because I don't want to overshoot. He tips it over fast, I'm not going to try and follow that. Open up the throttles, I'll go under the bridge, and then take the 109 into the vertical. Hopefully the boomerang will follow and stall out and I'll be able to tip it over. Now he's spraying his guns. Now he has no ammunition shortage. Boomerangs carry all the bullets in the world on their Brownings. Unfortunately I mess it up here rather badly. I should have nosed down to get my speed up a hell of a lot sooner than I did. The boomerang has managed to catch me at a low speed, and he's just opened up with those 4 Brownings and hosed my plane down, and is continuing to do so. Now because I've taken so much damage so quickly, I haven't managed to accelerate out to maximum speed, and the boomerang is keeping on my 6. I'm very slowly pulling away, but I'm only half a kilometre. He can accurately hit me at this range, so I'm trying to do a constant left-hand bank. You'll see the small movements that I'm doing. It's just to throw off his aim. Just. Of course, when you're doing those small movements, you don't want to bank too hard, you'll lose too much speed, and it just puts you back in the guns. So the boomerang got engaged and had to break off. The plane is not handling particularly well. I've lost a lot of my stability in the wings. I seem to have lost quite a lot of my rudder authority, but it's still flyable. Now the boomerang did just get set on fire, and then its fire went out almost immediately. So bring the 109 back around. That boomerang is still trying to get to me. He's still constantly moving in my direction at the moment, as much as he's trying to avoid the 109 on his tail. Move in, banks around to the left, take the lead. Very close pass with the 109 E3 out into the vertical, and the boomerang goes down, and somehow I managed to get that kill. As far as I'm aware, you can't score a kill like that without scoring a critical hit at the same time, which I most certainly didn't do. But regardless, that's 3 kills for the match. So at this point all there was to do was limp my battered 109 that's hating my piloting at the moment all the way back to base. The last guy alive on the enemy team is in the bottom position. He is AFK on the enemy runway. There's already 2 fighters heading over there to deal with him. I'm going to put this thing down on the ground, and the match is going to end before the repairs are complete. So let's go through to the results. So, second place for the team with 3 kills, Bomber Rescuer, Ground Forces Rescuer, Shadow Strike Streak X2, Professional X2, Win Streak X2, Soft Landing, and the Best Squad. 56,820 Silver Lions, 2,981 research points. No bonuses applied, as I have nothing to research. So, in all honesty, actually not a great round. 3 kills, 1 I'm not entirely sure how I got, and the other 2 I pissed ammunition all over the sky rather than accurately hitting the target. Now yes, I was leading for the wrong gun type at the start of the match, but I worked that out part of the way and still didn't lead particularly well for most of the battle. I guess all I can really say here is there are many ways to fly the BF-109 F2, but what you saw in the video probably wasn't the best way. Anyways, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed the video. Click like if you do, subscribe if you want to see more. Fly smart, fly safe, and I'll catch you in the skies.